Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kunal here. Today we are going to read about the legislature. Let's start. The legislature, chapter 22. Chapter at a glance. Legislature is a word that comes from the Latin language meaning those who write the laws. The legislature of a state or country is group of people, each of whom got his or her office either by winning an election or by being appointed to vote for the best laws. The way a legislature is supposed to work can usually be found in the constitution of that state or country. The Union Parliament consists of the President and the two houses of the parliaments, namely the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha, which is also called the lower house, is the popular house whose members are directly elected by the people. Rajya Sabha is the upper house which represents the state of the Indian Union, whose members are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies and the union territories. The Rajya Sabha consists of more than 250 members. Out of them, presidents nominated 12 members on the basis of their excellence and the field of literature, science, art, social service and sports. The rest are elected by the elected members of the state assemblies on the basis of proportional presentation through single transferable vote system. The Lok Sabha consists of more than 550 members. Out of these, not more than 530 can be elected from the states and not more than 20 from the union territories. The president can nominate only two members, Anglo-Indian community, to Lok Sabha. The vice president of the India is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. The speaker is the residencing officer of the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha is a permanent house which never gets dissolved, while the tenure of Lok Sabha is 5 years unless dissolved earlier by the president. The Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers, individually as well as collectively, are responsible to the Parliament. No taxes can be realized or money be spent without the approval of the Parliament. Therefore, the annual budget is approved by the Parliament. Thus, the Parliament performs various functions like legislative, executive, financial, electoral functions, etc. The main function of the Parliament is to make laws for the whole country. All the bills which are introduced in the Parliament have to be passed by both the houses before sending the same to the President of India for his or her consent. After the consent, every bill becomes a law. Any bill which is moved by a minister is called a government bill, and the one moved by the member of the Parliament but not by a minister is called the private member's bill. The bills that deal with money matters, financial obligations and revenue and expenditure, etc. are called money bills. Such bills are introduced by a minister only. Non-money bills are called ordinary bills. Some non-money bills become constitution amendment bills, and if their objectives to make amendments at any provision of the constitution. Before making a law, a bill has to pass through various stages. The budget is an annual financial statement showing annual expected revenue and expenditure of public money. It is presented in the Parliament, Lok Sabha, in two parts, that is the rail budget and the general budget. Railway Minister represents the rail budgets, whereas the Finance Minister represents the general budget. The state legislature consists of the Legislative Assembly, that is Vidhan Sabha, the Legislative Council, that is the Vidhan Sabha, only the 5 states. The Governor. Most of the states in India have a unicameral legislature consisting of Vidhan Sabha and the Governor. Members of Vidhan Sabha are directly elected by the people on the basis of universal adult franchise, where the member of the Legislative Council are partly elected indirectly and partly nominated by the Governor for a fixed period of time, 6 years. The state legislature also performs financial and electoral functions and keep control over the Council of Ministers in the state, besides law making on the subjects of the state list and the concurrent list. In text question, why is Rajya Sabha called a permanent house? Rajya Sabha is called as permanent house because it cannot be dissolved like Lok Sabha. In this not only members are retired at one time, but 1/3 get retired after every 2 years, and each member says has 6-year terms. In Rajya Sabha, members are not elected directly by the people. Question 2. What is the basic difference between the American Senate and the Rajya Sabha? Answer. The basic difference between the American Senate and Rajya Sabha are given below. The Senate gives equal representation to all states, irrespective of size or population. This means that both small states and large states get 2 members. This is contrast to Rajya Sabha members, where each state's representations depends upon population. The senators are in fact directly elected by the citizens of the state, hence they have direct support and approval of the people. In contrast, members of the Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected. They are elected by the legislature of the state government. They do not have direct representation of the people. Each member of the Senate represents, say, half of the state he or she is elected from. The other members representing the other half. Hence, they have more voter taking. The Rajya Sabha, on the other hand, represents a smaller number, a fixed number, and hence has smaller voter banking. Question 3. Who elects the members of Rajya Sabha? Elected members of state legislative assemblies elects the members of Rajya Sabha. In text question 22.2. Question 1. In case of inadequate representation in Lok Sabha, members of which community are nominated by the President of India? In case of inadequate representation in Lok Sabha, the members of the Anglo-Indian community are nominated by the President of India. Question 2. Who presides over the joint session of the Parliament? Speaker of the Lok Sabha presides over the joint session of the Parliament. Question 3. Name any 3 states of the India having minimum number of members in Lok Sabha. The 3 states of India having minimum number of members in Lok Sabha are Sikkim, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. Question 4. Who conducts the proceedings of Lok Sabha in the absence of the Speaker? Deputy Speaker conducts the proceedings of Lok Sabha in the absence of the Speaker. In text question 22.4. Difference between a government bill and a private member's bill. Government bill. A government bill is written legislative initiative submitted to Parliament by the government for approval and possibly for amendment. Before becoming laws, such bills relate to matter of public interest and may include financial provisions. Government bills are normally introduced in the House of Commons, although bills that do not provide for the expenditure of the public funds or the levying of the new state taxes may be introduced in their house. Private members' bills. A private members will be in the text of the legislative initiative submitted to Parliament by a member who is neither a minister nor a parliamentary secretary. For approval and possibly for amendment before becoming law, most but all of these bills of this type originate in the House of Commons. Next question. Question 2. Differentiate between an ordinary bill and a money bill with regard to their introduction in the Parliament. Ordinary bill. An ordinary bill can be introduced in any houses of the Parliament. An ordinary bill can be introduced only with the recommendations of the President. Money bill. A money bill can only be introduced in Lok Sabha. It cannot be introduced in Rajya Sabha. The money bill can be introduced without the recommendation of the President. Question 3. What is money bill? A bill shall be considered to be a money bill if it contains only provisions dealing with all or any of the following matters, namely the imposition, abolition, remission, alteration or regulation of any tax. B. The regulation of the borrowing of money or giving of any guarantee of the Government of India, or the amendment of the law with respect to any financial obligations undertaken or to be undertaken by the Government of India. The custody of the consolidated fund or the contingency fund of India, the payment of monies into or withdrawal of money from any such fund. The appropriation of money out of the Consolidated Fund of India. The declaration of any expenditure to be expenditure charged on the Consolidated Fund of India or the increasing of the amount of any such expenditure. Question 4. When does the joint sitting of both the houses of parliament takes place? In case of disagreement between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha over passing the ordinary bill, the joint sitting of both the houses of parliament take place. In text, question 22.5. Which 5 states of the India has bicameral legislatures? The 5 states are Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh and Jammu Kashmir. Name the states having the largest number of members in Vidhan Sabha. The states having the largest 403 members in Vidhan Sabha in Uttar Pradesh. What is the minimum permissible number of members in the state assembly? The 60 is the minimum permissible number of the members in a state assembly. Who exercises the casting vote in the case of in the state assembly? Speaker of the Vidhan Sabha exercises the casting vote in case of tie in the state assembly. Who can dissolve the state assembly and when? The governor of the state can dissolve the assembly on the advice of chief minister. Terminal questions. Describe the composition of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Parliament of India consists of the President and 2 houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is commonly known as lower house of the Parliament. It is a popular house because it represents the nation at large. It is not only popular but a popular house as well. The Lok Sabha can consist of A. Not more than 530 representatives of the people, not more than 20 representatives of the Union Territories. C. Not more than 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community nominated by the President if he is on the opinion of the Anglo-Indian community is not adequately represented in the Lok Sabha. The members of the Lok Sabha are elected directly by the people. The life of the Lok Sabha in 5 years. All the members are chosen at once and at the same time. However, the President can dissolve the Lok Sabha even before the expiry of its terms, that is 5 years. The Rajya Sabha is the upper house of the Parliament and is sometimes called the House of Elders. The Council of State shall be composed of not more than 250 members. Of them, first shall be nominated by the President, second the remainder, that is 238, shall be the representatives of the state and the Union Territories, elected by the methods of indirect election. The 12 nominated members shall be given by the President from amongst persons having special knowledge or practical experience in literature, science, art, social service, and the Constitution thus adopts the principle of nomination or giving distinguished persons a place in the upper chamber. Question 2. Mention the different stages a bill passes through before becoming a law. Answer. A bill passes through the different stages before becoming a law. First, reading of the bill. First, the bill is introduced in either of the 2 houses of the Parliament along with aims and objectives of the bill. After getting the consent of the appointed date, the minister introduces the bill. Second, reading of the bill. This is the most important stage as the general discussion takes place over the bill, whether the bill is held with or without amendments. After this, the House has 4 options. First, the bill may be immediately taken into consideration by the House or for clause by clause discussion. Second, it may be referred to the select committee of the House. Third, it may be referred to a joint select committee of both the houses. Fourth, it may be circulated among the people for eliciting public opinion. If the bill is taken for consideration for clause by clause discussion, it is debated. Amendments are proposed and but to vote for acceptance or rejection. If the bill is passed, it is sent to other houses where the same procedure is repeated. If the bill is referred to a select committee or a joint committee of both the houses, it clause by clause examination takes place. By taking the opinions of experts or representatives, amendments are proposed and a report is submitted in the House on the appointed date. After this, the bill is considered clause by clause, is accepted by majority of members represent and voting. The amendments are carried, otherwise rejected. This completes the second reading of the bill. Third reading of the bill. Minister is in charge of the bill task. Ask the House to adopt the bill at this stage. Normally, no discussion takes place at this stage. If accepted by majority of members present, the bill is passed and is now sent to the other houses where it will be passed through the same stages and procedures as in the first house. After the bill is passed in the second house, it is sent at the first house for onwards presentations of the President of India for his and her assent. If the President signs the bill and it becomes an act or law. When does the joint sitting of both the houses of Parliament takes place? Who provides over such a joint sitting? In case of disagreement of both the houses, there is a provision for joint sitting of both the houses. Such a joint sitting of Parliament is summoned by the President and is presided over the Lok Sabha Speaker. Question 4. How far it is correct to say that Rajya Sabha has almost no control over the financial matters of the country? Explain. A money bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha after it is passed by that house. It is transmitted to Rajya Sabha for this concurrence or recommendation. The power of Rajya Sabha in respect of such a bill is limited. Rajya Sabha has to return such a bill to Lok Sabha within a period of 14 days from its receipt. If it is not returned to Lok Sabha within that time, the bill is deemed to have been passed by both houses of the expiration of the said period in the form in which it was passed by Lok Sabha. Again, Rajya Sabha cannot amend a money bill. It can only recommend amendments, and Lok Sabha may either accept or reject all or any of the recommendations made by Rajya Sabha. Thus, Rajya Sabha has almost no control over the financial matters of the country. Thank you and thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Kindly subscribe. Thank you.